talk about the show itself. What did you think about the staging of the show?
I still think it's terribly dated. I like the fact that Tattoo went in for it. I'm glad they didn't win because I don't think they did very well.
No.
I don't think they sang very well, but trying to make it a bit more contemporary, I think, is a good thing.
But we could do it like at the start, you know, they came on with their things. And I thought their cheesy talk was not, you know, it didn't add to anything, Liam. It didn't add anything to the competition. You know, the way that they start off and it's as if they're having a little fling and maybe they fall out with each other and all of that.
Well, the sort of come on Latvia stuff they were doing through the performance. Yeah, I mean, we could put a more positive...
No, I mean, the presenters themselves.
Oh, these two?
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, I think they've been quite engaging throughout the evening. They've been performing to a script, and I think that's caused them some difficulties, because the script doesn't seem to have been that natural for them for some sections of the evening, but I think they've handled it quite well, generally.
I thought the staging of it was really good. I thought it was... What did you think, Joe, of the whole kind of atmosphere of the thing? I thought it was excellent.
It was pretty electric. I mean, I got the feeling from the crowd that they were having a really good time. And that's got to be the main point. You know, if people there in the studio are having a good time, well, it's not even a studio, it's probably purpose-built that.
Yeah.
Spent all the money in Latvia this year on their entire milk and butter budget on that stadium. But people will go hungry, but they've enjoyed themselves tonight.
Is it?
Oh, God,
That's fine. No, it's true, because it was a big, big show for them, a very, very important show as well. I mean, they really sort of put their whole heart and soul
I think it looked great. I don't think it looked cheap at all. It looks like a lot of money's been spent on that. It was good.
Very much
Having
so.
the screen on the set was a really fantastic idea, and all those overhead shots with all the extraordinary kind of picture work going on underneath the performers. I thought that was fantastic. It's one of the best sets I've seen in that respect.
Very much so. Thank you, Tim. We'll come back to you later on. I'll tell you what, John Ranwell from Lancashire, he's emailed to say, I hope Holly Valance's lawyers were watching the show. The winning song is a complete rip-off of her Kiss Kiss. Holly, of course, took that from Turkey originally, but hey, got a point, don't you think?
Well, it's the same author, so it's not really plagiarism.
Right.
You can't plagiarise your own sort of stuff. And Sertab contributed to writing it as well.
Sir Lionel Blair joins us.
Yeah.
Sir Lionel, how are you?
I'm fine. We've had a great time. And our panel, the winners were Turkey.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got it right?
Absolutely. But what I loved about Turkey was it was the sort of the river dance of this year's. Do you know, it had that spectacular thing going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
and I know
do.
what Joe meant about the Las Vegas thing, but it was spectacular. It was what the public loved. It was a bit of glamour, a bit of zhuzh and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And that, I think, helped it a lot.
I think, to be honest with you, without that routine, if you judged it on purely vocals, I mean, Carrie, you were saying that,
no.
purely on vocals.
No, I absolutely agree.
No.
We weren't very good.
Lionel, we weren't very good. That's true. That is
I have
true.
to say.
We're trying to put a positive spin on it, aren't we, guys? We're trying to put a positive spin on it, but it has been quite difficult. I felt really sorry for them. I don't quite know what happened.
Well, putting a J instead of a G for Gemini was mine.
I don't know what it was. I just don't think... I mean, Carrie, you know about vocals and you know about all of that. What did you think?
I think that it's very easy for us to make the excuse that it's a political reason why they didn't get points, but actually those vocals were really bad. The girl was totally and utterly out of tune, and in fact in the chorus she went and sang the backing vocals harmony. She couldn't even remember the melody. I think one thing we have to take into account, though, which no one can imagine, having done the competition myself, it is so nerve-wracking. The nerves are unbelievable. As Jess will, hear me. It's really difficult, and so.
But what's the answer? How can we make sure that a better song and a better set of singers sing it?
We have to get good singers first of all. Second, they have to have enough rehearsal so that you're singing on automatic. You don't make those kind of mistakes. It's not like a big number like Jess had last year with big notes in. This is a simple song to sing.
But you know the way that the Spanish have done it and other countries have done it, where it's like a Fame Academy type thing or a Pop Idol type thing. You know, I mean, if you had Gareth Gates up there, or Will Young. I mean, we had Jessica last year, of course, but if we had one of these guys up there, they would. I mean, you had plenty of experience. I mean, it's very unfair on Gemini. I mean, this is a big deal for them. They've not had the experience you had.
Absolutely.
You performed on a Saturday Night Live to
and I had an arena tour, beforehand. And I felt confident enough to go in there. I mean, it is a difficult thing for them to go in and do.
It must be awful. Yes, terrifying.
If you've never done that
when you've not seen that kind of an audience before. I mean, the audience is a big audience, in the arena, so to speak, itself. So that's enough, I guess, to put you off. I really felt for them. She looked amazing.
She looked Scott.
Her legs looked great.
We have to go to Scott here because Scott was the man who dressed them and styled them.
didn't work on the night, but, you know, I think Chris, he worked it more than Gemma. I think, you know, she probably got stage fright. She wore the dress very well. She looked very sexy, so it goes to show a sexy frock doesn't always steal the show. It's down to the song at the end of the day.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think she looked absolutely fabulous.
Well, she worked that bottom.
She looked
but there weren't enough shots of that. What was going of the bottom?
And
because there were things going on there, weren't there?
There was a little
you noticed things going
on her bottom. And if the camera had angled to it, perhaps, you know, she could have
We'd
worked
got a few
more
more
kindly way. We could have got a few votes.
Out of that,
Well, I'd have sung backwards if I'd hit those notes. I just turned around.
Very so. What a shame.
Absolutely.
But they'll be gutted. They'll be absolutely gutted. They'll be so upset about that. But having said that, we did see them earlier. Tim talked to them, and they were at least trying to put a bit of a positive spin on it.
I wonder whether they could hear themselves properly. That's my only other thing.
You said, Jessica, that last year you could hardly hear what was going on.
Last year I couldn't hear the music. I mean, it was very, very quiet in my ear monitors. And also the backing singers, they just cut them off completely. I had nothing to go on. It was really, really difficult. You couldn't hear a thing.
Scary.
All week the contestants were crying because they couldn't hear anything. We all went on knowing we were all in the same boat.
Yeah, but that's where experience comes in, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Look at her face there, look. There's no smile.
She got dry mouth. She got that nervous thing.
Nervous, though. Nervous. Liam, how depressed should we be? Because we want to put a positive spin on this.
Oh, it's
yeah, I think we've all got to be very depressed because we can't pretend it hasn't happened.
Can we bounce back?
It doesn't mean they didn't get any phone calls, though. It just means they weren't in the top 10. So there could have been tens of thousands of phone calls coming in across Europe for them, but not actually translating into any points. They might have been 13th, 14th, 15th, maybe lower. It's a bit disappointing. It's not the first country ever to get 0. It's the first time we've ever done it. People won't be surprised to hear that's our least successful ever performance in Eurovision.
We've never been last before,
We've never been last.
What's the worst that we've ever done before?
28 points and 16th under this scoring system, which was a couple of years ago. Actually, the last 5 years, with the honourable exception of Jessica Garlick, who was, of course, fabulous and came third, we have done really, really badly, the United Kingdom. And maybe it is time for us to address the way we look at the contest. We're in quite good company, though. The Germans came last back in '95. The Spanish came last in '99.
And they bounced back.
Yeah, when the French came second last in 2000. I was in Paris that night and watched it on BBC Prime or World or whatever.
Of course.
But I turned down to the French news and they broadcast the fact that France was second last. Then he visibly brightened the newsreader and said, in last place with 2 points was Belgium. So maybe that's a bit of deflection might be...
If only we had someone to deflect to, though.
They
got a point
they got some points for Estonia, but for the hosts, that's really embarrassing. I can't remember.
Actually, no, that's
the hosts have done worse.
That's it. There's the spin.
That's it.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse.
I was
Because we could
amazed
have been...
because I thought Germany and Sweden had what I call disco songs, and they didn't get in.
I like the German song.
I love the German
my
song.
favourite.
Joe, you love German.
I love the German
I
song.
loved
So
that
did I.
song.
You
I
did.
absolutely
I really
loved
did.
that song.
And I was amazed that those songs like that were not in the top 10, top 5 even.
Mind you, we loved the Belgian song, didn't we? I was really upset they just got pipped right at the last bit. They got pipped. Now, Dan in Aberystwyth says, our song wasn't the best, we'll give him that, but we did not deserve nil point. It was purely political. So we can kind of, you know, maybe we can take some comfort from that.
Sabotage.
Think?
Could be.
Maybe.
So.
Maybe. I'll tell you what, I love Terry. He makes it, doesn't he?
Wonderful. It
wouldn't be the same, Liam, would it, without Terry?
He did really very well tonight.
He always does.
I thought he did particularly well tonight.
It's very funny.
Very
He always says exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah.
As soon as you're thinking it,
He says it.
it's very funny.